Can you tell me what you feel about the two people at the Baker Trailer Park that passed away? What's your personal opinion? Not legal, but personal.
Personal opinion, what happened to them? It was a strange and untimely death that, with both of them, that I can't believe happened. That 1 second they're in my bar drinking, and then a week later I don't work there all the time, but I come in and out seeing them, and I get told that Terry dies. And then I talked to Denise. Denise I went to school with, and she tells me what happened, da-da-da-da-da, and then 2 weeks later I find out Denise dies.
Do you think it's possible that them breathing in all these toxic chemicals for a month killed them?
Absolutely. I think that's the big what they call elephant in the room on this deal, is because we don't know what all this oil and stuff is doing to us.
Right, and this is the thing. Enbridge will not release what chemicals are in this oil. You know, I mean, they won't even release it to your neighbor. What's his name, Bob?
Bob Winters.
Yeah, they won't release it to him. 6 weeks ago he requested, just tell me what's in the oil to give to my doctor because my wife is sick and we need to find out what is causing this.
What she's allergic to.
Right, and they won't tell him what's in that oil.
Well, why wouldn't they? If they're not hiding something, why wouldn't they tell them? You know what I mean? The authorities or somebody need to step in that case for positive and find out what's in the oil so that they can dispel. Me and my grandson going across the river and come back and he's got, looks like it's a rash on his face or something. You know what I mean? We don't have any idea what it is or anything. End up taking him to the doctor. The doctor says, well, it's not poison oak. It's not any of your normal rashes that you would get. And he says, he says he'd be scratching it, he'd be this, he'd be that. And so we just keep him away from the river for a while. Well, me and him loved going over there and playing and everything. And my wife and my grandson's mother said, Dad, don't take him over there. No, it must be the oil. And I didn't believe it. I was thinking that it wasn't nothing like that. So I took him back over there again. Same thing happened.
Yeah.
And along with the rash, he would always get a raspy throat and be sneezing and stuff like that and have a runny nose. And then I could get him back away from the river where we're at up here, and he wouldn't be quite like that. But him and my wife both, when this thing first happened especially, they both were what you'd almost call it a cold. You know what I mean?
That's what everybody got. Yeah.
Sneezing, runny noses, and for my wife, because she's got a low immune system, her energy was zapped.
Yep. I've been hearing that from everybody. They're weak. They're tired all the time. Their throat was hurting. Their lungs hurt.
That's what happened.
Dizzy. They kept forgetting things.
Dizzy. My wife was dizzy.
Puking.
My doctor prescribed me an inhaler because I was having trouble breathing, but he just thought it was because I tend to have bronchitis.
You know, that's the thing about this whole thing that we're talking about is, you know, it's just like being diagnosed with a disease that eventually is going to kill you. You know what I mean? You sit around and you think, I wonder how bad this stuff is hurting me. You know, just like with the disease, you think, I wonder how long I'm going to live. You know what I mean? Then you got this out here, and you're hearing about all this stuff that's in the air, benzene in the air and all that, and you're wondering, you know what I mean? I wonder what this is really doing to me. Well, nobody's telling us what it's really doing to me. And from just talking to you, they won't even tell us what kind of chemicals are in the oil that they're putting out there for the people that do get sick. So what kind of a company are we dealing with? You know what I mean? These people aren't out to do what's right and make everybody whole. They're out to get out of it as cheap as they can. Obviously, you know that you work for them and they told you to cover it up.
Yep, you're right.
With the billions of dollars that they make.
I'd at least like to know.
Well, it's because the insurance company pays $650 million. So Enbridge is not even paying for this, but the problem is they're running out of money right now. And that's why they're in trial right now saying that it's not their fault, they don't want to pay nobody, because it's going to come out of their pocket because they only got $100 million left, and that's going to be gone this summer.
Do you know anything about the drinking water, city drinking water? Anything have they released in? Because my husband and I don't drink it, but our animals do, and they strangely, like I said, are the ones with the lumps and bumps and strokes.
Can you tell me about the animals right after the spill?
I have a black lab and a chow shepherd mix, so they're both 80, 90 pounds, and they both, like I said, they're old dogs. They're about 11 years old. They both have had a couple small little nodules. We talked to the vet. They said, nah, don't worry about it. It's just cysts. Now my lab has one on his side that's about this big one on his leg that wraps around it that's the size of a softball, and several other on his chest and back and his stomach. The Chow Shepherd mix, I don't know that she had any cyst bumps or anything like that.
Right.
And now she's got about 4 or 5. My cat, who's like my baby, ended up having what's called feline vestibular syndrome, and it's basically like a human having a stroke.
And you feel this is from the oil?
It happened right after. I mean,
I get out of bed, I can smell a little bit, right? So I put my clothes on, I open the door, and I almost get knocked out. And I'm not exaggerating either. I'm talking about open the door, and I mean, I'm like this. It's in my garage.
Right.
Open up the garages, walk outside, can smell it everywhere. You know what I mean? I have no idea what's going on. The Enbridge definitely never contacted me until they came down here to tell me that they were going to close the road. Nobody ever contacted me.
How long after the oil spill?
Oh, at least a month, maybe 2.
So they never told you for a month?
Never told us for a month until they told us that they were going to end up closing the road.
they never told us anything.
I knew because I was going to meetings downtown that was in the newspaper, and I'd already went down to the community center that they had down there and filed the claim. You know, didn't really file a claim, just let them know that I was what was going on out here, and that's what they told me. They said that anybody over 200 feet from the river and you're 379 feet from the river doesn't have a lawsuit, and basically we won't be dealing with you.
But they said that to save them tons of money. I mean, that's just the truth.
Me and my brother went across the street. This is before they did any cleanup over there. We go across the street, and me and him are just walking his property, and we're finding oil spots everywhere, right, that they're not cleaning up. Well, there were some people that were out in the river by an island that's right off of his property, and they asked us, what are you doing down here? I saw we're just looking around investigating what's going on, and I kid you not, the next day, they were at my brother's house making a deal with him to do cleanup on his property, and I would say 48 hours after that, they had the type of cleanup going on over there that they got now. They've been here twice. They got what's going on over there right now, and it's a bigger scale than it was last year. But before winter hit last year, they did the same thing over there and was all the way back there, had all the cross ties down all the way to the river. You're talking about a quarter mile worth of cross ties all over the place, pulled them all up, left, and then came back.
Do you know why they pulled out? Because they said they were done. They came back because of me and my complaints. They did this in many spots. They're supposed to go right now back to Ceresco Dam. They're supposed to dig up Talmadge Creek right now.
There's nothing there. We just drove by there about 3 days ago.
Oh, there's no cleanup right now.
Okay.
But they're. I'm gonna make them. The place is full of oil. And what's your name?
Minda.
Smith. What it is Ceresco Dam, it looks fine from the surface. You got to stick a rake in, and you got to go like this in the mud, and the oil gushes up. Right. It's all underneath. Right. And if you're not a worker, you don't know that stuff.
Well, who knows?
And in the meantime, they put us through all this bullshit that they're putting us through and tell me that I don't have any rights, no claim. And tell me that my property has not been damaged. The value of my property has not been damaged when I know for a fact I would not buy this place. I don't care. Say I was going to buy it for $500. Then I told the guy, hey, man, I found out about that oil spill. I'm really not interested no more. And then the guy said, well, I'll give it to you for $4. I'd say, man, it's got nothing to do with the price. The price wasn't it. You know what I mean? I can't take a chance of moving my family into a place that's been contaminated.
Right.
But it's not contaminated, Mr. Goodwin. They cleaned it up. I don't believe what them people say. I don't believe the government. I don't believe none of them. I've watched too much TV to believe it.
Yeah, Bolenbaugh, it's April 12th, but I got the April 9th newspaper. So at least you know it's that date. Just to show you, I'm at Baker Trailer Park. I want to show you how high the oil reached. Do you see that? See that line right there? That's how high the oil reached, all through here. Alright? See the line? Right there's Baker Trailer Park. That's how close these residents were. And they were sick, and they're still sick, and they're getting sicker. But this is just proof that the oil was only a few feet away from their bedroom windows. These poor kids that lived here, I feel so sorry for them. So, you guys live right here?
Yeah.
And what do you have to say? Since I've talked to several other people, I want to know what you have to say.
What numbers?
Yep, tell me.
They suck dick.
Yeah, they do.
And why?
Because they're just useless. They don't do nothing. They're just lazy bums.
All they do is go up and down.
They lie
up and
like
down.
crazy.
I can't hear you.
They lie. They
Why- and-
constantly lie.
And what are they lying about?
Everything. They lied and said this river's clean and it's not. They've lied and said that our air ain't contaminated and it is.
What do you guys think about what I'm doing? Can you stand closer so I can get both of you? What do you guys think about what I'm doing?
I think it's awesome.
You got some nerves.
I got some people call them balls, but
I was just saying that.
yeah, it's not easy doing what I'm doing, but somebody's got to stand up to these guys, and I hope. Do you think that they came and cleaned some areas again because of me?
No, they didn't do nothing.
They haven't did anything,
If you watch them, they just ride up
They-
and down all day long.
and so they're just riding up and down, and you don't really see them doing any cleaning.
They don't clean.
They don't
Like
clean.
last year, same
If
thing.
you
up
look
and
at
down
some of
the river.
those rocks, they still have oil all over them.
That's what he just did.
And so when do you think the last time they were cleaning around here? Now we've been told it was September 27th was the day they pulled out of here. That was
Last year.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
That was the last time we've seen them.
right. So they haven't did any oil cleanup here, and I've been in the river since then, right here at Baker Trailer Park. I know there's a lot of oil here. So what do you want Enbridge to do?
Clean their mess.
Yeah, exactly. And make it right with everybody.
All right, and
There's so many people that died and got sick. My
Yes.
3-year-old has gotten sick from it.
My
Not-
9-year-old has.
you said somebody died, and
There's a lot of people that died in here since the oil spill.
so I know of 2 people that died here at Baker Trailer Park, and you feel that it's because of the oil spill.
I think so.
I think it is too.
You
because
think-
nobody was really sick until that?
So they weren't sick until the oil spill, and then as soon as the oil spill happened, within a month, both of those people died, right?
Exactly.
And-
my daughter got sick. Her son got sick, and we were all in the same place pretty much all the time. And they were both doing that black stuff.
They were throwing up stuff?
Yes, black stuff.
Wow.
My
Michelle
daughter.
Michelle got pictures.
Yeah, she's got pictures. She's got our paperwork from the hospital. My daughter was sick, and she stayed sick for like 3 months from it. And her fever still, to this day, will go up for no reason at all. She'll get headaches. My son's getting headaches now. He's missed so much school this year and last year because of it. It's not funny.
Has Enbridge offered you guys any money?
Nope.
Why not? Why wouldn't they? I mean, you guys live right next to the oil
But
spill.
they weren't doing anything about the oil spill until we actually brought it to the media's attention. I had it on Channel 3 and Channel 8. That was the only way to get anybody's attention out here. We were here for almost 2 weeks before they even volunteered to move us anywhere.
So they didn't, I mean, you're well within 200 feet. They didn't try to evacuate you?
No, they did not. We had to call them for a volunteer evacuation. They were not going to do that.
So they didn't evacuate you, and you're talking about you complained, and it took them 2 weeks of you complaining before they even talked to you.
Yep, before they even talked to us. My house smelled like fuel oil so bad for the first 2 weeks, and it was awful. You couldn't breathe. It got so hard to breathe. It hurt to breathe. We went into the hospital, oh my God, I don't know how many times. We've been in there, we've had our kids in there, and yet and still, they're trying to say, oh, it could have been the flu. It can't be the flu when they're throwing up black stuff, and they would not relate it to this. But my daughter never gets sick and my son never gets sick, so I know it's due to this.
Have they paid for your medical bills?
No, Medicaid is paid for my medical.
Well, so our taxes are paying for it when Enbridge should be paying for it.
Right.
That is just not right. I'm sorry that you've been sick, and I hope I can do something about helping you guys.
I hope so, because they put me on steroids for a week due to it, because I couldn't breathe at all. And I've had asthma all my life, but it's not bothered me in years and years. And after this oil spill, I couldn't breathe. They put me on steroids for a week. So if that didn't help, they were going to put me back on them again. Thank God it helped for a little bit, but it's starting to kick back up again.
All right. Well, what do you think about what I'm doing?
I think it's awesome. I really do. You're awesome with us. We appreciate it. We really do, because we really need somebody to speak out for us.
Well, thank you. Can you tell me more about the hotel situation?
I know that when we finally got them to put us in a room. They finally made arrangements for us. We were put in the,
How long ago was that after the spill?
it was 2 weeks.
2
Close
weeks.
to 2 weeks, yeah.
All right.
And they put us in the nights in for 2 days, told us, oh, go home, it's clean. So we came back home, and then like 3 or 4 days later, they sent us back to another hotel in Kalamazoo. We stayed there 2 nights, and we were supposed to be there until Monday. They changed their mind, decided they wanted us out by Sunday, so we had to leave and come home. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we came back home on Sunday, and then they called us again, said you can go again. So we left again. We were at Econo Lodge for almost 2 weeks, and then they said that's it. We're not paying for no more rooms. You guys got to go home. It's clean. We're done. We're done cleaning back there. They even put notes on everybody's door that they were done. They were done cleaning. Everything was fine.
Well, isn't that funny? I found oil there under the water after they sent you guys all home and said it was clean.
Yeah, I remember, and yeah, that is funny. But they seem to think it's clean, but yet they're back here again.
Yeah.
So apparently it's not very clean.
Oh, I know it's not clean.
And I know it's not clean.
Yeah, we all know that. But of course, Enbridge, they get fined if they don't get areas clean in time. So when the EPA or the government says this site, which is Baker Trailer Park, when this site is clean or supposed to be clean, if it's not done by a specific date, they get fined like $8,000 a day. So that's why they lie and say that it's clean. And then they will reopen it back up saying, oh, we found more oil, which is a lie because they never cleaned up the oil in the first place.
Exactly. They had it back there, in back of all of our trailers. They had it blocked in with one of the booms, and it stayed there all winter.
Yeah,
They did not remove any of that.
right. They had the oil inside the boom, and they didn't they didn't dig it out or take it out, and it just sat there.
It sat there all winter long, yep, and we were subject to it all winter long. And now it's going to be all summer again, I'm afraid.
Because they haven't went back and cleaned it.
Right. And they ride up and down constantly in the boats. They don't stop. They don't put nothing in the water. They don't clean it. They don't do anything with it.
So you've seen the airboats just go up and down, making
all day
it.
long.
Well, I had an airboat guy tell me that his orders are to drive up and down the river to sound like they're doing something.
And that's what they're doing. They're doing their job.
Yep, they're doing what they're told to do.
Right.
Yep, just riding up and down the river, making it look good.
Suffer, and our children suffer, and our neighbors suffer, and everybody suffers from being sick. Yes.
I'm sorry, Linda. I'm going to try to do something about this, okay?
I really appreciate this. I really do. I mean, you're awesome.